We will begin this video by simply asking what is a square. Pretty straightforward, that's the answer, and that is what a square is. Now we will ask another question. What is the square of a number? Interesting, isn't it? Okay, so let's just take this simple square. It's 1 square. So we just say 1 square is 1. Very, very simple. Who says math is difficult? That should be a joke. Alright then, let's try 2 square. 2 square simply means how many squares can I arrange on each side? 2 on the top side and 2 on the left or right side. And the answer is the number of squares I have inside. Here we can see that the answer is 4. That's the total number of squares I have in a bigger square if I arrange 2 at the top and 2 on the sides to form a bigger square. Or we can simply say the square of 2 is 2 times 2, which is 4. The square of any number is the number times itself. The square of 3, which is 3 times 3, is 9. That's pretty straightforward. I hope now you can work out the square of the first 10 numbers. I'm going to wipe out these and leave out only the answers. And see, now there's a special name for these numbers. I can arrange different squares to form a bigger square. That is if I have 9, 16, 25 pieces and so on. We call such numbers a perfect square. Back to the main item for the day. What is a square root? Square root is simply finding the two numbers you can multiply to get a perfect square. If the number is a perfect square, then a square root should be a straight number. I mean an integer. That is not a decimal or a fraction. Okay, so I'm sure it's very easy to work out the square root of numbers like these. But what if you are asked to find the square root of this? Oh no, math is too difficult. Can I use a calculator, sir? No. Oh dear, but don't worry, we are here for you. But first, you simply need to remember the first 9 perfect squares. Make that 10 if you want to add 10, that's 100. Now you want to break down these perfect squares into 1s and 10s. Check out the last digit of the number whose square root you want to find. In this case, the last digit is 1. Look out for the number whose square has the same last digit. Just like the square of 1, which is 1, the square of 9 is also 81. They both have the last digit of their squares to be 1, which is the same as the number we are finding the square root, which means we are going to choose 1 and 9. And that also means that the answer after finding the square root will be a number whose digit ends in either 1 or 9. Now the next step is to cross out the last 2 digits. Next step, compare the remaining digits, in this case 1 and 5, which is 15, to the perfect squares on your right hand side. 9 is the closest number, just below 15, so we choose 3 since 3 has the square to be 9. This means the answer will have 3 to be the first digit and the second digit will be 1 or 9, meaning our answer is 31 or 39. To decide if the answer is 31 or 39, multiply the 3 by the number after 3, which is 4, and if your answer or your result is more than the 15, then you choose the less. In this case, the less of 31 and 39 is 31. If your answer is less than the 15, then choose the greater number between 31 and 39. This means that our final answer is 39 because 3 times 4 is 12 and 12 is less than 15, so we choose the greater number of the two. And that is it. We got it. 39 times 39 is equal to 1521, which means the square root of 1521 is 39. Example 2. Find the square root of 3069. In other words, find two numbers that you can multiply to get the perfect square 3969. Step 1. Check out the last digit. In this case, the last digit for 3969 is 9. Now, from the list on the right, look out for numbers whose squares have 9 as their last digit. The square of 3 is 9 and the square of 7 is 49. Just like the number 3969, they all have their last digit to be 9. So we choose 3 and 7. Cross out the last two digits, 6 and 9. Now look out for the number on the list on the right whose square is just below the remaining 39. As we can see, 6 squared is 36. 36 is just below 39, so we choose 6. Now, this tells us that our final answer is either 63 or 67. Now, to decide between 63 and 67, we multiply 6 by the number right after 6, which is 7. 6 times 7 is 42. Then, we compare the 42 to the 39. Now, 42 is greater than 39, so we choose the lesser number of the two, which is 63. This means our final answer is 63. Indeed, that's right. 63 times 63 will give us 3,969. Hooray! Now you can try more examples on our own.